All right, so let's start this broadcast with a big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. Mass protests have erupted in the Gilgit Baltistan region of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The locals are extremely unhappy and they've demanded for the immediate release of their leaders. The protesters have even threatened a civil war and a merger with the Indian Republic if their demands are not met. In some pretty dramatic scenes that were witnessed in Gilgit Baltistan, thousands of people in fact took to the streets after prayers at a local mosque. Now, the anti-government slogans were raised, calls were made to smash the doors of Kargil.
अगर तुम रास्ते में डाउट पैदा करोगे तो हम करगिल जाके दिखाएंगे तुम्हें खुदा की कसम अगर तुमने किबला वाकिर अल हुसैनी को गिरफ्तार करने की कोशिश रही ना हम रहेंगे ना फिर तुम रहोगे.
Now, this is what a small town of Skardu in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir looked like. The region has witnessed mass protests, especially by the Shiite Muslims, over a police report against a local Shia cleric. The discontent is also over the blasphemy bill and other laws, which has been made even more stricter and are being used selectively against minorities with impunity. The town of Skardu is just about 100 kilometers from Kargil in the Indian territory. The two regions, in fact, share a lot of similarities in ethnic demography. Most people here, in fact, follow Shia Islam, and it is also the majority religion in the Gilgit Baltistan region. The Gilgit Baltistan region is in fact among the most backward in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, despite being endowed with plenty of natural resources. Now, this part remains extremely backward and ignored, and the locals have blamed a complete indifference on behalf of the Pakistani administrators. So this is what the situation at this moment looks like in Gilgit Baltistan, where there have been massive protests that have been held against the Pakistani administration, which has been administering this part of the territory. The locals, in fact, said that if the government does not meet with their demands, then they would, in fact, want to join with the Indian Republic, where they feel that they'd be respected more and would be granted more rights. Thousands upon thousands of people, in fact, took to the streets. They demanded that the Pakistani administration should come to its senses, and they also said that it is important that their rights be respected. So this is a video that is said to have been shot just after the Friday prayers in the city of Skardu. Skardu, remember, is just about 100 kilometers from Kargil. And many of these demonstrators, in fact, said that they would march to Kargil if the Pakistani administrators do not listen to their demands. One of the key aspects that they, in fact, raised was the fact that their rights are not being respected, even though it is the Pakistani administrators who are, in fact, administering their territory. And to give us more perspective in terms of what is happening at this moment in Gilgit Baltistan, we're being joined by Captain Alok Bansal. He is a director at the India Foundation. He's joining us on this broadcast. Now, Mr. Bansal, these are some pretty extraordinary scenes that are being witnessed in Gilgit Baltistan. What is the reason for this kind of discontent amongst the people there?
See, the people of Gilgit Baltistan have always been discontented with this sort of Pakistani occupation, because for bulk of its existence, Pakistan has treated Gilgit Baltistan as a colony. The people in Gilgit Baltistan have not been given their rights. Their cultural and linguistic identities are being obliterated. And coupled with this is, of course, a sectarian fault line that exists in Pakistan, because Gilgit Baltistan is the only administrative unit which is under the illegal occupation of Pakistan, where Shias are in a majority. And Pakistani state has never been comfortable with it. Consequently, what we see is that this area, people have been persecuted, there has been violence, there has been huge economic exploitation. The people in this part of the world continue to suffer. They are deprived economically. No development has taken place in this particular area. And we see that the people's voice has always been suppressed by Pakistani authorities.
Absolutely, indeed. And also one of the threats that the people, the protesters in Skardu, that we witnessed in that video, they've said that they would in fact want to join with the Indian Republic if the Pakistani administrators do not respect their rights. What do you make of that?
See, Skardu is actually part of Baltistan. The people there are ethnically Mongoloids. They speak a language which is exactly akin to Ladakhi as is spoken in Leh. They have cultural, linguistic affinity with this part. In fact, the people of this part have for long been demanding that the Kargil-Skardu bus service should be started so that divided families and culturally divided people can be united. And this has always been, in fact, if we go back historically, Skardu and the rest of Baltistan was always part of Ladakh Wazarat, even during the Maharaja's rule. So these people have a huge cultural, linguistic affinity with the people of Ladakh and India. And I think they are so fed up with Pakistani persecution. Also, Skardu or Baltistan is Shia dominated. The people here either belong to Shia sect or Nur Bakshi sect. And they are seen with a lot of suspicion. There have been numerous occasions when people going to Baltistan, that is Skardu, etc., have been brought down from buses and shot dead because of their sectarian identity. Now, all these factors have contributed to a deep sense of resentment within the population of this part against Pakistani occupation.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Captain Baltistan, for joining us and getting us all those insights there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.